everything that they just literally explained here, literally are returning features of Total War. Like those features, by the way, mind you, whether it's historical or Warhammer, should always be in every single Total War. There should be no reason these should be taken out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's good? What's good? It's me, DisBearity here, and today we're going to be going over the Total War Pharaoh Dead Diary #1. Now, I know that this is probably a little bit late, but hey, I've been a busy man. I had to get a lot of things done, but today we're going to be going over it and see what my thoughts are going to be about it. If how about has the game improved? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So before we begin, definitely consider liking, subscribing for more content of Total War in general. Thank y'all for watching. Let's go ahead and head on to it. All right, all right. So now that I got my headset on, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at here, and let's see if there's any gameplay improvements I might feel about. Because like I said, guys, I actually enjoy Total War Troy to an extent, and a lot of other people, they say that the battle mechanics, they didn't enjoy it because it was a bit dry. But like I said, I enjoyed everything about like the concept of Troy. So I'm willing to give Total War Pharaoh a more of a chance. But let's go ahead and check it out here and see what's going on here. Go ahead and clean my glass. I gotta take a good look at this. I'm already off to a good start. Sync animations are really good. I like how they're really showcasing that.
In Pharaoh, just like in any other Total War, we have settlements, but in our game we introduce a new feature called Outposts. We have 7 different types of outposts which the player can construct. They vary from military outposts to economic outposts and are designed to help the player in different situations. For example, one of the most interesting outpost that we have is the fort. Once constructed on the map, the player can move in with their armies there and protect a certain territory. Another interesting example of an outpost is the monument. It is very much connected with the ability of the player to claim the Pharaoh crown. In order to be able to become a Pharaoh, the player needs to gain enough legitimacy. Monuments are one of the ways the player can do that. They need to construct them across the land, promote their brand, and by that they can further down the line claim the crown.
All right, so with the whole outpost system, I do like that. I mean, it's like, gosh, it's really hard for me to explain. I don't think it's like, it's technically a returning feature in Total War, I guess you could say, where, because, back in the days of, the early Total War games, of course, it wasn't really called like an outpost. I mean, you can consider it as a watchtower in a sense where, you build a watchtower, the watchtower is already there, and then, but in this time around, you're able to put certain, things there, like he explained, you can put the monument there, you can build a fort there, maybe even economical stuff, so it's a new old mechanic, basically. But it's good though. It's good.
Another interesting outpost will allow the player to be immune for some time from the perils of the desert. In Egypt, there is a lot of sand, and sometimes traveling across the desert is important.
That makes sense.
Such outposts will help the player not to lose the majority of their army.
Now, that idea here, by the way, it's pretty good, where think of it, the outpost like an oasis. But here's the thing, though. I actually kind of wish that they were to put in oasis. Like, one thing that would really change up Total War, and I think I always, always bring up this idea, and that is, especially on battlefield maps, right? Let's say on the battle maps. Now, some people might call it this like BS or what, I don't know, but it might spice things up where instead of fighting over normal capture points, let's say you fight over in an oasis, and so any units outside of this zone of the oasis or whatnot gets tired from desert attrition quickly, because I might change it up, instead of just normal fighting, you have to adapt to this, you gotta be like, okay, what units are going to stay inside the attrition to fight, what units are going to stay outside, get tired, so on and so forth. So
while traveling, another outpost will help the player with the upkeep of the army, yet another outpost will help the player with the production of their regions. As we planned the game, we wanted to make sure that a successful playthrough will include a combination of outposts and buildings in the settlement in order for the player to succeed.
For Total War Pharaoh, we're bringing match combat animations back. They will be played by individual entities from each unit. The animations are weapon specific, so when an entity attacks another entity, the defending entity will not just play a random defend animation, it will play a specific animation depending on the weapon attacking it. So there's quite a large number of animations going to be played, which will immensely help with immersing the player to the actual battle and the gruesome details of it.
Now that's really good, by the way. Like, because like at least it's trying to tell us that they're at least trying with the game because they didn't have to bring up match combat, but like you just said there, it's immersive, and people like that kind of shit. I do. It makes you feel like you're actually on the battlefield. Especially, it makes for great cinematics, especially for people who are cinematic based Total War YouTubers or whatnot. So I mean, I like that idea. I like it.
For Total War Pharaoh, we are reworking sieges by adding multiple victory points. What that means is essentially that every single victory point in the city matters. You do not gain points as it was before by capturing a single victory point. You have to capture multiple to start winning. If you're on the attacking side,
That's a mechanic from Total War,
to capture
Warhammer.
victory points. That means that you will get debuffs that are specific for this victory point. The more you capture the settlement, let's say you capture a second victory point, then the defender starts losing morale because they're losing their city. And if you capture all 3 of the victory points, you have essentially captured the whole city, meaning that the defenders' morale starts plummeting because they have lost their home. Another thing that we're
so they're not doing no central point
is bringing back siege ladders as being equipment instead of having them in your pocket. What that means is that you have to construct them prior to a battle, as with other siege equipment. Another siege equipment that we're adding is wall sapping, which basically means with enough time to prepare, you can destroy one of the walls before starting the battle. Another thing that we're adding is settlement destruction, which means that you can burn down a settlement. The more you burn down a settlement, the more penalties the defender takes. But do be careful how much you burn down the settlement, because if you manage to win and colonize the settlement, the repair bill is way higher.
All right, let me tell you something here. Everything that they just literally explained here, literally, are returning features of Total War. Like those features, by the way, mind you, whether it's historical or Warhammer, should always be in every single Total War. There should be no reason these should be taken out. Never. They brought back sapping of the walls. Again, you actually had to build your siege ladders now, which is that's great. Those should never be taken out of Total War to begin with. To me, when certain features like that is taken away, that's just laziness. That's my opinion. Because you're trying to take reduce costs. I guess you could say. And then on top of that, yes, the whole burning of the city, by the way, that's been in Total War since Total War Medieval, Total War Rome. So what's up? God, I get it though. But that should just never be. Those should never returned.
Total War Pharaoh starts with some of the leaders already in place. For the Hittites, this is Suppiluliuma II, who you can play as, and for the Egyptians, this is of course Merneptah. For all other factions, you will first have to demonstrate your worthiness. This is done by accumulating first enough legitimacy, and then by challenging the Pharaoh or the Great King himself in a bloody civil war where all factions will have to choose between defending the supreme leader in place or becoming a pretender themselves and try to grab the throne. Legitimacy is the key resource that will allow you to start and win a civil war. It is a sort of representation of how the people measure the worthiness of a leader in that time. And
I like that.
It is also what historians would call symbols of power and order. There are different sources of legitimacy, and each one will allow you to win the civil war using different strategies. These are, for example, conquering lands of significant importance for your people, to capturing places of interests, such as the Sphinx or the pyramids, to building monuments for your people, and even wearing certain crowns. In the case of the more military-oriented Hittites, you can also accumulate legitimacy by engaging in battles. The tougher the odds of the battles, and the bigger the enemy vanquished, and the more legitimacy you will earn. And this is the main way you earn legitimacy for Hittites. However, there's a downside. If you lose these battles, most probably the victor of that battle will be able to challenge you in a new civil war in an attempt to become the new Great King.
Okay.
In Total War Pharaoh, characters progress through your campaign by leveling up, and as they level up, you can choose to increase one of their competences. Each character has 3 competences. These are presence, fortitude, and ardor. And all of these reflect a different aspect of what it is to be a Bronze Age general or a politician. Presence. It shows how capable you are of inspiring the men around you as they fight. The second one is fortitude. It represents how well you can withstand harm, both in battle or outside of battle. And finally, you have ardor. This shows how quickly you can react and how quickly you can make decisions, again, both in the battlefield and outside of it. As you level these up, you gain gameplay effects. Presence increases the offensive capabilities of your armies, fortitude increases the defensive capabilities of your armies, and ardor increases the speed of movement, both in battle or in campaign. Competences have another very important aspect because they are prerequisite for titles. And titles are this special names that you can assign to your character. For example, if you want to assign the title Master of Charioteers to one of your characters, you will need to have a certain amount of ardor in order for this character to take the title for themselves. You can assign the titles to an unlimited amount of characters. Each faction has a bespoke variety of titles that they can use. Competences are also dependent on the character background. It's a special trait for your character that comes along with the character as you recruit them, and it affects both the initial distribution of competence points for your character and also the kind of traits that the character has access to. If a character is, let's say, bloodthirsty warrior, then this is their background, they will likely gain the trait cruel and not that likely to gain the trait merciful. In addition to that, the ancillaries have been a core part of many Total War titles. They will be easily recognized by any of the veteran players, but we're doing something new in Total War Pharaoh. We are adding an equipment type of ancillary. These are your weapons, your armor, shields, and mounts. In most cases, this is the Bronze Age, so the mount is a chariot. But as you equip different types of these ancillaries, you will get a different unit as a bodyguard unit for your character. If you begin with having a sword in your inventory, if you equip the sword, you will get a unit of swordsman. If you switch that sword with a spear, you will get a unit of spearmen. Of course, putting a bow over there will grant you access to ranged units. You can put them on a chariot and have a swiftly riding archer unit as your general. Also, it allows you to adapt to any situation that might arise in your campaign.
Okay, I like that idea. All right, so as you guys know, we're going to briefly speak on this real quick. All right, so as you guys know, when it comes to Total War Pharaoh, in my personal opinion, is that this is shaping up to be at least a decent Total War. I will say with what do you call it? CA Sophia, they are trying their best to really bring out, this premier Total War experience. Now, do I agree with most people that this does seem like Troy 2.0? Yes, in a sense. And so they're saying, a lot of people say that, well, this is the brand new historical title, and this is what they're touting, which could definitely be will be the case. My main issue is, this is the problem with overall all of CA, or just in Total War in general, is how they keep bringing back features that were already in the game and then presenting them as new. I don't like that. I really don't, because you're in general, it just feels like you're just kind of being lazy in that sense. I get that you want to cut costs, make some changes, stuff like that, but like, it's like Pokemon, as an example. Pokemon brings in new features every single generation, but then they take back features, which you would hope these features will stay in the game, but then they don't. And then it's like, oh, because they just do it because they want to. Now, will I pick up Total War Pharaoh day one? I mean, for me at least, because I actually enjoyed Troy, then yeah, I'll definitely be picking it. Somewhat excited for it, but I'm still holding my breath on it. But I think that with CA Sophia, I think that they can do it. I just hope that later on down the line that they definitely expand on their what they like on the grand campaign map. I mean, this is the Bronze Age, so I'm hoping to see some Masonry or some Troy, something of the sort, from that part of the game, or maybe even Assyria, more the Middle East territory, stuff like that, So that's what I'm planning. That's what I'm waiting on seeing. But again, that's all I want from CA. It's just to do better in that regard, and also bring back naval battles. I don't understand that it's expensive to make naval battles, but that's a core of historical Total War. Now, Warhammer games, I can understand, but historical, bring back naval. So what I want y'all to do is let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. What y'all think about Total War Pharaoh. Are y'all excited for it? Are y'all not excited for it? If you are, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs up. But tell me why you're disappointed in it. And I will see you guys for the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. I live stream guys every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and also on Saturday. So come on through whenever you guys get a chance. And last but not least, if you guys want to support the channel further, definitely consider becoming a member to the channel. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Much love, everybody. Bye. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also hit the bell notification down below. Thanks for watching.